we are going to explore a concept that has the power to change not just your business, but your entire life. In today's world, whenever we start a new project, launch a business, or even set a personal goal, we almost always focus on just two things. First is the what are we doing? The second is the how are we going to do it? But there is a third, and arguably the most crucial element, that we so often forget entirely. We get so caught up in the mechanics and the deliverables that we miss the very thing that gives it all meaning. Today, we are going to fix that. Let's journey together through the book that has become a modern classic, Start With Why by Simon Sinek. This book doesn't just offer a business strategy, it offers a new way to think about leadership, purpose, and how we connect with the world. Don't let the business title fool you. This is about the fundamental human need to find our why, whether we're building a multi-million-dollar company or just trying to build a better life. So, let's begin our exploration. We start with the core concept of the book, the Golden Circle. This simple yet profound model is the key to understanding why some people and organizations are more innovative, more influential, and more profitable than others. It's the reason why some leaders can inspire action while others can only command it. The Golden Circle is made up of 3 layers, like a target. The outermost circle represents the what. This is the easiest to identify. It's the products a company sells, the services it offers, or the tangible results we produce in our jobs. Everyone knows their what. The middle circle is the how. This is the process, how we do our jobs, the strategies we use, our values and principles that guide our actions. This is where companies often try to differentiate themselves, explaining their secret sauce or their unique selling proposition. But then we come to the very center of the circle, the innermost ring. This is the why. This is the purpose, the cause, the belief that drives everything. It's not about making a profit, that's a result. It's about the deeper reason we get out of bed in the morning. It's the core conviction that inspires us to do the work we do. As we move through this book, we'll see that the most successful leaders, the ones who truly inspire loyalty, think, act, and communicate from the inside out. They start with why. To bring this to life, let's look at a historical example that Sinek uses to brilliant effect, the story of the Wright brothers and Samuel Pierpont Langley. This is a perfect illustration of the power of why. In the early 1900s, the race to build the first powered, heavier-than-air airplane was a fierce competition. And if you were a betting person, you would have put your money on Samuel Pierpont Langley. He was a highly respected scientist, the secretary of the Smithsonian Institution, and he had immense resources at his disposal. He had government funding, a team of brilliant minds, and the press was following his every move. His what was to build a flying machine, and his how was using all this money and expertise. But his why? Langley was primarily motivated by fame and fortune. He wanted to be first, to secure his legacy. On the other side of the country, in Dayton, Ohio, were 2 brothers, Orville and Wilbur. They had no government backing, no college degrees, and limited funds. They were running a bicycle shop. Yet, on December 17, 1903, it was the Wright brothers who made history. Why? Sinek argues that it was because they had a crystal clear why. Their belief, their purpose, was not simply to fly, but to liberate the world and solve a fundamental human problem. They believed in the possibility of human flight and were absolutely driven by a passion for it. They had a cause. The Wright brothers attracted a small but incredibly dedicated team who shared their belief. They worked tirelessly in their shop, driven by a higher purpose. Langley had the resources, the what and the how, but he lacked the why. When he failed, he quit. When the Wright brothers failed, they just saw it as another step forward, because their belief was bigger than any single setback. This historical example shows us that success doesn't come from having a superior product or the most resources. It comes from identifying your why and letting it drive every decision you make. This why connects with people on a deeper, more emotional level. It's not about what you do, but why you do it that inspires loyalty. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. To further understand how this why spreads, Sinek introduces the law of diffusion of innovation. This is a powerful sociological model that explains how new ideas and products gain traction. It divides the population into 5 categories. At the very beginning are the innovators, the visionary few who are driven by the potential of a new idea. They are followed by the early adopters, who share the innovator's belief. These two groups make up about 15 to 18% of the population. For a movement or a product to achieve mass market success, it needs to cross a chasm and reach the early majority, and then the late majority. The final group are the laggards. The crucial insight here is that the first two groups are motivated by why. They are attracted to the purpose and belief behind the idea. They don't just buy a product, they buy into a cause. The rest of the market, the majority, is motivated by what? They need to see the proof, the features, the benefits of the product. They need to see that others like them are using it before they will adopt it. This is the key to understanding market adoption. By starting with why, leaders can appeal to the visionaries and early adopters, the very people who will help their idea spread. These early adopters are the ones who will champion your cause, and it's their belief that will eventually influence the majority. This isn't just a philosophical idea, it's rooted in biology. Sinek explains the concept of the limbic brain. This is the part of our brain that is responsible for our feelings, emotions, and decision-making. It is also the part of the brain that is not connected to language. It operates on emotion and feeling, not on rational thought. This is where our decisions are actually made. When we communicate from the outside in, starting with what, we speak to the neocortex, the rational part of our brain. This part is responsible for language, analytical thought, and logic. It processes information about features and benefits. But when we communicate from the inside out, starting with why, we speak directly to the limbic brain. We appeal to the emotional core that drives behavior and creates feelings of trust and loyalty. This is why Martin Luther King Jr. gave the "I have a dream" speech, not the "I have a plan" speech. He started with a vision, a belief, a why. He spoke to the limbic brains of a nation, inspiring a movement that went far beyond just policy and strategy. He inspired action, not by telling people what to change, but by sharing a belief that they could get behind. This emotional connection is the fuel for sustained success. It creates a deep sense of trust and belonging that cannot be replicated by simply having the best product or offering the lowest price. This brings us to a critical distinction: manipulation versus inspiration. Manipulation is a very common tactic in the business world. It includes things like price drops, promotions, fear-based marketing, and peer pressure. These tactics are effective in the short term. They can get a customer to buy once. But they don't create loyalty. They are transactional. They erode trust over time and require constant effort to sustain. Inspiration, on the other hand, is a more powerful and sustainable force. It is the ability to connect with people on a fundamental level, to align them with your cause. True leaders inspire. They don't just tell you what to do, they get you to want to do it. They foster a culture of trust and collaboration. This is why companies that are driven by their why have a much harder time being disrupted. They have built a culture and a following based on shared beliefs. Customers are not just loyal to them, they are part of their tribe. So, how do we actually put this into practice? How do we uncover our own why and bring it to life? Simon Sinek offers a powerful and simple technique called the 5 whys. This is a method for getting to the root cause of a problem, but it also works brilliantly for discovering purpose. The idea is simple: keep asking why until you get to a fundamental truth. For instance, if you're in business, you might start with, why do we sell this product? The answer might be, because we make great products. Ask why. Again. Because we're passionate about crafting things that last. Ask why. Again. Because we believe people deserve quality. Ask why. Again. Because quality makes people's lives better and brings them joy. Ask why. One more time. Because we believe in creating a world that appreciates craftsmanship over disposability. There. You've hit your why. But uncovering your why is just the first step. The next is to align your how with your why. There must be a deep consistency between your purpose and your actions. Your processes, your company values, your behavior, everything must be a reflection of that core belief. If your why is to empower people, but your how involves micromanaging and restricting them, people will sense the hypocrisy. The gap between what you say you believe and what you actually do is where trust is broken. Think of Apple. Their why is not to build the best computers. Their why is to challenge the status quo, to think differently. Everything they do, from their product design to their iconic marketing campaigns, is a reflection of that belief. It is consistent. You can't just emulate their how by designing sleek products and expect the same loyalty. You must first find your own why and then build your how around it. To further achieve this, Sinek introduces a framework called the 5 Cs for bringing the why to life. In essence, these 5 Cs are about building a life, a team, or an organization that is a true reflection of its purpose. It's about creating a place where people feel they belong, where they are inspired to contribute, and where they can be their best selves. So, friends, this is the core of Start With Why. It's a simple yet revolutionary way to approach the world. We often think that the most important thing is to figure out what we want to do and then plan how to do it. But this book challenges that notion entirely. It suggests that before we even think about the what and the how, we must first be still and ask ourselves the most profound and impactful question of all: why? Whether you are a leader of a massive corporation, the founder of a small startup, or an individual trying to find your path in life, this question is your North Star. It is the key to unlocking your potential and inspiring those around you. Now, you know the secret. You know why some people can lead us to do extraordinary things while others can only manage us through the mundane. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through Start With Why. I hope this summary has given you a powerful new lens through which to see the world and your place in it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more wisdom from Wise Pages. And let me know in the comments below, what is your why? I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep asking questions, keep exploring, and never stop discovering the power of your own purpose.